Hey all, here is today's tea tasting, and I'm excited to try this one. I've been in tea chats and quite enjoying them. I think I've been in about 7 times already, and I had told them that I could not find a Sheng pu'er that I liked, and there are some men in there that are devoted Sheng pu'er people. And Roy said that he wanted to send me a pu'er that he was confident I would like. Well, this was before I tasted that pu'er last week and that I liked. Before that, I had never tasted a Sheng pu'er I liked. I like Shu pu'er, but I didn't like Sheng. And so he's wanting to make a believer out of me. And so I'm excited to try this. I've already been sitting here sniffing it, trying to make my aroma flavor notes, and just sniffing it for a very, very long time. And I bought a new scale. In the chat, one of the gentlemen shared with me just to get a simple pocket scale, and this was $12 on Amazon. So I'm going to actually weigh this out. I'm going to go ahead. I got a suggestion of 4 to 5, 4.5, maybe 5 grams. Since this is 10, I am going to go with the 5 so that I can just divide this in half and have 2 steeping experiences. So let's take this out. I haven't actually looked at it. I've smelt it. Ooh. I want to see what it looks like before I weigh it. Oh, look, there's some green in it. Look at all the texture. I love texture. There's a wide variety of things in here. Wow. And I got, let me back it off a little. I got some already broke up, and then I got a nice piece, a nice chunk. Isn't that nice? How many colors are in here? I mean, I see some dark and some very light. I see some golden, I see some green. Pretty amazing. So here I go, I'm going to weigh it. And I put all the loose leaf back in temporarily. And I stuck the chunk there because I like looking at it. So here's my scale. I turned it on. It says 0, 0. I'm gonna put my butter dish. Yes, I love my butter dishes. I think everybody should go shopping for butter dishes in antique stores to put their tea in. I shopped a long time and passed up a whole bunch till I found this one that I really liked. So it's actually a set. I've got like 8 of them. So this is 31.8, which is interesting. When I used my food scale last week, my butter dish one time weighed 33 and another time weighed 30. So it's interesting to see that this is right between those two and to kind of compare accuracy. Let's see what it says this time. 31.8 each time. Very good. So this is T for tears, so that's going to zero out the weight of my butter dish. I'm trying to multitask with my left hand. So I'm going to start pouring this on here, and I've got to get it. So the loose that he gave me is 3.6. So I'm going to pause the video and break off some more of the other tea. Okay, so I have it at 5 ounces. And there, I'm going to put this back in my package. Actually, I'm going to put it on my butter dish while I have my tasting because I like to look at it. I'll put that in my gaiwan. This one here weighs 5.9. Okay, turned my tray around and set it up. Put this in here, and I put this on here, my butter dish, because that's what I like to do. I like to look at my tea on my butter dish, getting ready to pour. So here's the color of the liqueur. You can see it in my tasting cup. Got a few little floaties. Here's some of the wet leaf. Kind of broken in half kind of bits. That one's a little longer. They haven't fully opened yet. So the second steep, I thought I would do a little bit longer, just 10-15 seconds longer, because the first one was not very astringent and the second one was very astringent. And so now this is the third steep and we feel like we can't taste it because we've still got the second steep in the back of our mouth. It's kind of like when you go to wine tastings and you have to eat the little crackers to get the taste out of your mouth. So I decided to grab, I have this left, I made these little spinach and tomato tartlets last week, and this is the last one. They're perfect for tea. So it doesn't look pretty, but that's so good. And I just poured some water, and I love playing with the tea. So here are my tea tasting notes for this 2004 Yiwu CNNP Sheng. And this tea is 17 years old. I was going to write more about that. I forgot to, but that is so amazing because I think about how quickly leaves decompose on the forest floor or even in the yard and you know, become compost, become dirt again. Definitely they would not last 17 years. So the care and the way these are stored to make them last 17 years is just amazing to me. So for Tea Merchant, I've got that it was a gift from Roy. He is the president and founder of the New York Tea Society. And as I said, I met him in a chat. Let's open this up. So this is the website, and you can find some really great information on here. I was poking around. Let's see. He actually has a tea market. So like this is a pu'er. So here's, he has some teas for sale. And he's got, I didn't realize that, that he actually has teas for sale. And these are all the categories that he has. But somewhere, so here are some links to some really great educational articles. For instance, this one, Discovering Yunnan, it's actually a PDF that you can download to learn about more about Yunnan, and it's very detailed. You can scroll it here or download it. Here's another one, The Story of Tea. So he has some great resources on his website as well. But back to my tasting notes. There's today's date. This is a pu'er, it's a Sheng, and there's what I drop into all of my notes to help me. I'm beginning to remember, but for those that are new, it's a raw pu'er that's naturally fermented over a long aging period. This one's 17 years. And the Shu pu'er is artificially simulated to be fermented by a cooking process, and they taste totally different. So the Yiwu Mountain, this is the origin, Mangla County, Shwimbana. I just looked up how to pronounce that and now I can't remember. Prefecture, Yunnan Province, China. So this is just the province and the 3 areas in the province. So these Yiwu Mountains are in the Mengla area, and all of this is in the southwest part of China. But here is the mountains in this area, and you see right there the Yiwu Mountains are in the far right, and that's where this tea is made. But these are the big 6 tea mountains. So that just expands your desire to want to try tea by getting tea from each of these mountains. So Pu'er, just like Darjeeling tea is from Darjeeling, Pu'er is tea that's limited to the Yunnan province, which is the home of Pu'er. And this is just one of the provinces in Yunnan and one of the mountains in that province. And here we go. I found another map. It says the big 6 Pu'er tea mountains are to the east of the Lancang, I don't say these correctly, river, which is also called Mekong River on internationally on Google Maps. So these are the big 6 to the east, and to the west there's some more mountains. And there's 8 mountains there, and it says that the big 6 are becoming less and less because of overpicking. So these tea bushes need a rest. That's what I think. And so now they're starting to do more in the big 8. So this one though is apparently classic, old school. There's this video on YouTube that talks about location. Put a link there for myself to go back and watch it again. So of course this is processing. It's fermented. We went over that. My notes. So I did not find any 2004 Yiwu CNNP online, so it feels like it's going to be something special. I see some 2003 and 2005, but not 2004. It makes me think everybody grabbed it up to age it. So I wanted to know what CNNP is, and I'm not going to go through all of these notes I kept for myself. But it stands for China National Native Produce, and then and Animal Byproducts Import and Export Company. So CNNP is also known as, I don't know how to pronounce that, Zhangcha, that's my guess, which literally means China tea. So now that Zhangcha is owned by China National Cereals, Oil, and Foodstuffs Corporation. So basically CNNP is a brand that was formerly regarded as premium, but I've read, like down in here, that at one time, because it was such a well sought tea, that then other people were wanting to tap into that brand and that market, and less good quality tea was made. And so they're trying to make a comeback now. That's basically what I've gathered out of this. And it also has something to do with import and export, that this company was approved by China, I guess, to import and export, whereas it made it difficult for others to do so. So it really became, but you can read all about this, and it's hard for me to explain. And you can pause the video and read my notes if you want, but I'm going to kind of go through some of this rather quickly and get to the tea tasting part. So I've got a golden color on my tea spectrum. For the smell now, I really love the smell. This is craziness. So I decided on earthy. It's craziness because I love the smell, but I'm not sure I love the taste. But in the dry, my first thought is that it smells like a puff of sweetened, oh, there's no D on my ED. Sweetened fresh air. A puff of sweetened fresh air. It's a very pleasant smell, and I could just smelt it for a very long time before I even brewed it, and just kind of soaked it in and tried to decide what I was smelling. There's a smoky smell and a hint of mushroom, which puts it in the earthy category. And then nutty also came to mind. I'm not sure why, but I was thinking more like an almond that was a nice smooth taste. You know how some of the nuts have more of a pungent taste to them, and almonds are very low. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but it doesn't, yeah. So, Wet Leaves was the same aroma but stronger, and I quite enjoyed it. For the body, I had to move away from my window seat. The sun is so strong today that I was just seeing a reflection of myself. So, the body, I have that there are floaties in the liquid that give it some body, but yet it is still light. So not in the delicate category, which is at the bottom of body, but I did give it a light. And for astringency, now my first cup, I put it as bright and light. So it wasn't smooth, which is the lowest category. It did have some astringency. So it was bright, light, and right, because I do find I like tea in that category. Then I had my second steep, and I decided since the first one was okay, I'd test my limits, and I passed my limits, and that second steep I steeped too long, and so I got the lively brisk and got the bitter tea face, as my husband said. And we kind of quickly tried to just drink that one down. So here we go for taste, though. The first steep, I did get a nice smoky mushroom taste. And I quite enjoyed the first steep. And so I was happy. Then I had the second steep, and it was, the bitter was so strong that I could not find and concentrate on any flavor. I was trying to write down what I tasted, and all I could taste was the bitter. And the third steep, we went back to the shorter time, and it was okay. It was better, but it wasn't as good as the first one. It still had some bitterness, bitter smoothness, smoother bitter. I feel like I can get the idea of what Sheng pu'er tastes like after so many that I've tasted. So it tastes like Sheng. That's it. I'm learning what Sheng tastes like. And it's lost all the smoky and mushroom, and it just tastes like Sheng. It has a taste of its own. That's where I've come to the conclusion. After I've had so many, I'm beginning to understand what Sheng actually tastes like. So the fourth steep, it still had a smooth Sheng taste. So the finish was lingering and aromatic. The Sheng taste, as I'm calling it now, is that smooth bitterness. It lingers for a while at the back of the throat, and it almost suggests tobacco, and I don't like tobacco. I don't know what tobacco tastes like, but that one tea a couple times ago that was very bad, I kept saying it tasted like floral, and everybody else said it was tobacco. And I thought to myself, yeah, I think they might be right. So my rating, I gave it 3 hearts. Might buy it again, although I didn't buy this. It was gifted for me, and you can't buy it again that I could see online, but one similar to it. I'm still not a big fan of Sheng, but I'm told it's an acquired taste, and one must keep tasting it until it grows on them. I feel like this is a good one to start with, unlike some of the other ones I've started with. Yeah, it's not good to start with a bad one. It's just like dry wine. So I started out not liking dry wine, but the more I drank semi-dry wine, I didn't like sweet either, the more I wanted it drier and drier and drier. So now I only prefer dry wine. So it took me years to develop that love for dry wine. And the lure of the wine was the wineries and being outside and the scenery at the wineries. So I may have never gotten that love had I not been distracted by other things drawing me into drinking wine. So I think it's the same thing with this, that your taste buds and your acknowledgement of them changes it over time. And so I want to keep trying Sheng, and I think this is a really good one for people to start with. I think he did a great job picking me out one. I love smoky flavors. It smells wonderful. I could just sit and smell inside the bag. So thank you for joining me and my journey and learning about tea with me as I try to learn about it.